Hi everyone. I had a student ask me a question about blocks and line types, and so I just wanted to quickly make a video for you guys about this. Right here we have a bunch of circles, but you'll see here these are on the zero layer, so all files have this zero layer. And then here, this item's on zero, but this is on a layer that has a line type. And then these are on two separate layers. This is on a lateral drip hedge that has a different line type. And then this is on a different lateral layer with another line type. So I'm quickly going to make a block here. This is the speedy way to make a block. But I'm just going to paste it as a block. So now these are all individual blocks here. And then what you'll see is when I turn this to I'm going to put it on an equipment layer, so it's yellow. Because it's on zero layer, whatever's on the zero layer takes the attributes of the layer that we put the block on. So now what you'll see when we do this, when we put it on the equipment layer, the zero layer stayed or is now changed to that equipment layer, but then the one that is on its own individual layer inside this actually still retains that layer and that layer line type and so on and so forth. And then here, when we put it on, is even though it's on that layer, because each item inside that block is already on a layer, is even though it's on the same equipment layer, it will not change its aspects of it. So you have to think that when you're creating the blocks, if you want, I almost think of blocks as like a candy wrapper. When you have like those mint candies that have the little plastic wrapper on the outside. So the layers are the mint inside, and then the block is what's keeping it all together, is the wrapper on the outside. So if you have it on the zero layer, if you want it then to just be that block show whatever that wrapper is then you need to draw everything on the zero layer, and then it takes the aspects of whatever layer you put that block on. Now, if you want other items, then that's when you have the ability to then pre-force those onto different layers, and then it's almost like that wrapper now becomes translucent, and it only then it shows through of what's on that candy. And so this is the different aspects of what you can see here. So you can see then, let's say I change this to this. Now it's going to take on the thick aspect of that line type and or of that layer and such. So that's how blocks interact with layers. So definitely it depends on what layers are inside the block and what layer you put on the outside of the block. Now here is for if you have line types, sometimes line types don't show up, and with that is if you can see this is a dash line type, and you can see here's the space here. but you don't see any space here. Well, depending on how close the vertices are is then what determines the spacing. So you can see I made these vertices further apart, so now all of a sudden it added the dash and it subtracted it here. There's two different ways that you can get around this. Is when you highlight it over here in your properties panes, there's line type generation. If you go from disabled to enabled, you will see now it doesn't take into account where the vertices are, and it just throws in at that spacing. So you can see right here, it throws in the spacing right on the vertice. Some people don't like that look. So that's where the doing it, disabling it, only puts the line type between the vertices. So in here, it evenly spaces it between the vertices. And then another option that you can do is when you select it, when you go over to line type scale, if I make it smaller here, you're going to see that because I made it half the size, now we get double the amount of breaks in it. They're smaller and closer together. So you can see maybe I do 0.1 and now they got really small and really close together. So it's a scale issue with this. You would have to just play with the scale to, see what you like aesthetically for what you're plotting your plan as. So I hope you found this helpful. And if you guys have any other questions, please let me know. Thank you.